Hello friends, Zachary Stockill here from retroactivejealousy.com, and today I'm answering a reader question from Jake. Jake writes, when do you know it's time to move on from a toxic relationship? Wow, okay. So I have a lot to say in response to this question. The first thing I'll say is I think that there should be a zero tolerance policy for any kind of physical violence. So if you're in a position where you feel physically vulnerable, or if your partner is being physically abusive, I would say get out as soon as possible. That goes beyond, what most people would refer to as a toxic relationship. That's, abuse, and that's physical abuse, and that's serious. So I think there should be a zero tolerance policy for any kind of physical violence in any kind of relationship. The second thing I'll say is I think the simple fact that you're asking the question and you yourself are describing your relationship as toxic, I think that should tell you something right there. I think the moment that you describe your own relationship in your own terms as toxic is a pretty bad sign, frankly. Now, every relationship, if you're with someone long enough, of course there will be periods perhaps of conflict, struggle. Every couple has issues, believe me. Even the picture-perfect couples you see on Instagram, every couple has issues, and sometimes every couple has certain bumps in the road or certain dips or times when things aren't going particularly smoothly. However, there's a difference between that and a genuinely toxic relationship where you're both kind of entrenched in your own positions, or perhaps one person is particularly entrenched in their position and patterns of dysfunction. Those relationships, unfortunately, often are not salvageable. So a question you can ask yourself is, how long have I felt this way? Have I just been feeling like this for a day or maybe a week? Is this particularly just a bit of a rough patch that my partner and I are going through? Or has this been a pattern? Have I felt this way about my relationship? Would I describe it as toxic over the past several weeks or months or maybe even years? If it's the latter, if there's a long-standing pattern of dysfunction, of maybe abuse, of toxicity, of unhappiness, of, for lack of a better term, drama. If this has been going on for months or weeks or years, it's very likely that you're in a pretty toxic situation, and it would serve you well to get yourself out of that situation. Another question you can ask yourself is, how committed am I to growth and change? And I'm not putting all the blame for this toxic relationship at your feet, nor am I going to put it all at your partner's feet. It takes two people to make up any kind of relationship dynamic. And maybe you feel your partner deserves more of the blame for the toxicity, as you describe it, of your relationship. Maybe you do. And you can ask this of your partner as well. Or rather, you can reflect on whether or not this is true of your partner. Are we both really entrenched in our positions? Are either one of us completely just not willing to budge at all, not willing to change, not willing to be introspective, not willing to look at ourselves in the mirror with a clear head, to be honest with ourselves and about what we need to do to change? Are you the only one acknowledging this as a problem? Are you the only one acknowledging the pattern of toxicity, as you describe it, in your relationship? Is your partner as committed to growth and change as you are? Really think about that question. And if the answer is no, unfortunately, it's unlikely that this relationship is the relationship for you. If you're the kind of person who frankly would watch videos like this, if you're interested in personal development and growth and change and building an amazing relationship, and your partner is just completely impervious to all of that, just not interested, I am who I am, period, full stop, end of story. If they are more of that disposition, then I think it's going to be just a constant conflict between you guys, because one person will be interested in growth and change and moving forward and maybe growing in intimacy and improving your communication, and the other person is just not interested in that. Again, there's an expression that it only takes one person to change a relationship, and that's true. Any change on the part of one member of that relationship, obviously that's going to impact the relationship. But again, I'd come back to this question of, how long have you felt this way? How long have you self-described the relationship as toxic? And if this has been a pattern over many months, many years, then unfortunately it's likely that you're in the wrong relationship, and you'd be better served finding someone who is as committed to growth and change as you are. Thanks for your question, and thanks to all of you who are watching this video right now. If you found this useful, please be sure to click the like button below. Also be sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you again very soon.